Allo share. Inavi. Ato shikim tikiu allo chani nilo chani. Pau kupuk no kikime vecho. Perspektia no kupsabe pa ketoi. Ishi tsala new shavel pe. Eno ishi dolore tare. Ishi tsala dolore tare shi ning pela. Kuposhul pe kepo ado aki view kumabes new lo temi. Eno kijeje lo bagela kumbatski allo shikim tiani. Olana New Taika Village Baptist Church, Block 7 Fellowship Law, Nichni Go, New Sakipim Go, and a new pastor, Lovi, Shikimti, Ipelo, New Lotim, Gola, Entrepreneurship Topic Law, Kasajul Kebu, Adoka Besetsike, Nieloki, Vishi, Ikilani. Lotim Kijena, Hili Logagela, Orengno, Irenguno, and a gun Mrakiu, and a lash penike, Amlola, Akenshire, Inikushin alone. New Pastana Kilectivatake, Gemitare, Ilki Ijekure, Nikilectricalicue, Ijeyo of K.Yeptho, and on Ulterior Christian Society, Lomlani, New Sakipuna Pivekitoy, New Sakipuna Pivekitoy. ECS based NGO. Ipna hami ternini ikema NGO hipo new Reverend Dr. Chingmak eno pau anpu inoli putoli shiku nisimke kama na hutkiu ipno panong te focus area livelihood lana healthcare lana education epke my mental health epke tipo ka akchopula rusup nam like you ipno nie ECS loite vertical skilling and entrepreneurship center tipo lam like you shani ike ishe career guidance panila ike ma ina kamsa kyu ye career guidance no allow ilki pujupej kyu tipo skhabna I want to view this as a challenge to myself, as a challenge to you all. Again, Niko hi ado astudo laki kumza spend china ki share china ki hipoye more as a challenge tipo lana tikdona dishi junshani. I want to start with my personal experience. You pujupej ki laki nonko lak sajinshani. Ike gro nina itim shikela te nina school student shira chikela kila. Iterigema Nagaland tipo time tipo roto kila tare akdo aschedona alumukiu tipo schedula aya political shelapke economic social epke stability kan thebna tipo khdola akius shire itho kumjosi tho tipo vecho unemployment issue phebe puna akle thumna kiu kutomo lothim khodolo dishi pere lai eno khakrai shire PHV puna ita tipo like kata social issues, political issues tipo khakrai akivechu drug abuse epke maya substance abuse epke tipo akilore nilkini kilore maya akwa lore tipo kumjosi thokki shedoshi ibna itherike mo itare ninkono wovekyu ado typological ilaye that time internet connection maya mobile connection we didn't have that option, right? And if you want now, if you want it, you can always look up opportunities. You can always look up at new opportunities. Healing marep nam asta jeliet ke maya oxempa mi olki no shaning ke vlogger, influencer, ngopuna ita online and business. Maya any kind of information, knowledge, like you lana, of course. Kutomo alok salary uveni kema akivilare kutomo tulku itulane shinu trilim kodola. But that time we did not have that option, and literally the only option we had was government job. Eketi shaikelo inola laki ne yekalache khalakelo ne te hostel ete kushne namti class lo pune kuna class lo upne reveke chuta ka study arache nishle nonko kijen hostel mo pa ne. Any experience? Yeah, right? Ike class lo pune upna khaye tare study arache nishle. ike study hour la aikela study hour time shaigela nie kaku kakpekpna kaku phimopna ito ishke kem nie kaku phimopna ti kaku kakpekpna daydream shaige I was daydreaming ibna akakam su pe thage ibna katau kumopna ti hipo problems ko issues ako halama yen ikini kilo tipo ko face sa kyu tipo ko shola kyu kamsu rage ike till na that moment although tipo I still remember that moment although tipo la I made one resolution khakta laki nam lage ibna khakta tipo ye it's a very innocent resolution ne itim ka kamsu laki shire tipo khaktam laki kema that resolution I made was in a corner pe khivengela maye in a corner kichimishikelo nie I will not sit for ne mishika kumla hamo maye mishika kumla pumukebi tipo resolution la ibna tia government job al mukirona kumakine government job is good it is still good ikem as I said that resolution khakta tipo mlakyo te kona innocent khakta laki kona itim ka kamslakila nam lakyo eke ho ibna ina kamsukye maye in a tea it's not like if I sit for one I'll get it. It's not even from that place. If I do not sit for that place because there is a scarcity of government job, in a tirongna ikamo in a hamovapaya, I can give that opportunity to someone else who need it. Ibna in a kamsukye, salatam entrepreneurship, maya lidikishi, hutu kepushaye, tipo vechona. Katami ongna job opportunities, maya tikona employment creation K.Yeptho, tipo vethal vecho nie resolution team la. Tiampe kuto moshiva. That's so many years back, right? But now if I look back at my life, God has been so faithful. God has been so good. In a tipo commitment close like him like you, commitment close like him like you. Even with a half-baked understanding in a commitment tipo like you, God honored that. Ipna ina pehikveki tiu ampekit like how near lidikishibdo ilobe. Bangalore and Rajasthan lana lidikishisha. And then I felt that nilki nirle ide nebe kamsupuna nire nirle ide kushi Nagaland ide kushi. Ike kona ina Nagaland la ide rikeno tili Nagaland la yeah, ike kone ina Nagaland ide kilo. Nagaland niere ipo agola kinlono itulu ina. Ike atoriuna new team koye kono ago kutsukucho ago kutsipira ike milai. We are so talented, so full of creativity, potential chutoe. I saw that. Alaga handaya kamsuchne baye ashun na kursa kutubide pagapsa akino allow. Like they try so hard to be where they are. Ikema new team koye kamsana kamrabe K.Yeptho just without trying also naturally gifted tipo possess IQ tipo IQ ti itulo atorona. Ikema the gap is problem yekushenam. We do not push ourselves as much as we can. New potential IQ itlona ninkoye tipo pagapsa IQ ti itulo. And kalau cumi maya tim kami show depend chi tim kami show pukul kelo ya new opportunities akjo po ningko na shilke po shakyu kalke po shakyu mulai thalke po shakyu akjo po pahawi akyu dina atroshi tudo. Akin yu shire ningko apazo generation comparison and ningko comparison ya ningko aza ko ya as much as exposure sharep na akirtilagila sharep na ma ningko to opportunities tishi tumna panko ya rechermekis shudula na itokiula ikim panko na pakapo tsapna ningko jukyo akirtika kivi kapes tsikyo maya opportunities tipoko kapes platforms kapes ningko tsikiula ningko na idechlio akivila na ni paza kakamse na panko sasa panko vle pinikesho ningko re borrowed mentality, right? We take on that borrowed mentality. ibna tipo gola itare kumsikue government job ilkina akamla kucho kashi kumsu la kumsawe ibna tipo gola kushivane nam government job kumapaya akamla kutau QQ shape na nilki niula nei pelna shape na maya private sector maya aloga kutaula ministry NGO situkula shape na mo ninkona kumsai kuye ye time pass hongna shanke ke part time ke epi kumsabna shawe ke laite te agati kivi pitil job shaikyu di pitil na vakyu ti tulo eno dina kinu shitulo aktuna shil ke pani to ke pani tunu ka ikema lutre ke me tare ako hola sharep na agibola sharep na mo aku pa fi pushivani aku pa fi pushtenda litie ibna tie vejo tsikyu je kina kuma kema aka kumsikivi maye atapilona kupuklel kepu irona avyo pushive chinila ikema new community lawyer maye nilki ite nikona shaki especially towards entrepreneurship we do not get that kind of support as much as it can be ike tipok malagna etulo so with that vision even in a kumsukuye in a deep ethal in a tea true kele in a kumsukuye tell some new team kona alage hipokona na shiktel wele etare nilkini push lo paye new team nismi new nagame etare alakot omolana tulke po shininke peti pukdelo ibna tipo vecho with that vision I shifted to supporting entrepreneurs kukum business kitila maya hutunishani maya hutanye peko and akukwa vepushakio even in a small way kupul kepshapaye ni tikdo supporting ke na I started my journey of supporting entrepreneurs again you experience po share shilangya paye I want to set a challenge a reminder to all of us out here okay Niko hilai all of us I believe we are so talented. We have certain gifts in us. We are full of potentials, right? We are full of potentials, I believe that. And of course, all of us have different callings and purpose in life. The challenge that I want to set to all of us is accordingly, ninko gift akyu, ninko awa akyu, talent akyu, shilkepa akyu, hipopesa. Is there something that we can create for ourselves and for others through this, using this hipopetapna? And can this be true entrepreneurship? So that is one challenge that I want to set before you. Okay, so challenge number 1, ti kamsuvene teta idegnafke, ketinato. Akin shire. So as somebody said, imagination is the beginning of creation, right? Okay. Ovekula nye inam tapna nye initim shikila classroom tipola ikapna. I made a resolution. I imagined a situation. I made a resolution. But what I did not know was in a corner ti imagination shikala. I did not know, but I had already created a future for myself, right? Knowingly, unknowingly. Ike ishi salare. I wanted to tito ishi tikhilim ko lotem kivim ko. Can we imagine creating something for ourselves? Can we imagine creating something for ourselves and for others? And can it be true entrepreneurship? So that is one. Panako mchimchi lamof itet lamoya. Itet lamoya ango. Atuyo koti, can somebody guess? Atuyo koti. Any guess? Pajukul huh? I can hear you. Mta. Koti. Jack Ma. Anybody knows Jack Ma? Jack Ma jitulo shlimpe. Hello. Good morning. Inave. Asta ya fikena. Jack Ma jitulo shlimpe. Paje. Chulwa lai. Pa koti. Chinese na, he's one of the richest men. China la, I knew, he started Alibaba, right? Agini yo ko ti agini. Ili TV ju me ain kha. TV ju mo ka. Ko nungka chupu American channel la ka ku chipi akam la khatha na la. Agini yo opera nishla opera chulo chun kya je. Pau opera show, right? So Pau Kushiniti, she calls all the famous personality. I can go kupuna interview ko she maya famous kiek mopuna kyukim aji kipi akamla kivi kotak ta shupa kyu kupuna Pau kosupna. She's a brand herself, right? That's opera. Third day ko Italian putsa no pam tham irnango ishikma dola no Pau product use I can challenge this as Nagas. Kuya. Ntakia. Paje V Korean here. He's known as Milkman of India. Paje Pau title here, Milkman of India. Timna Paku Chenla. Kukona kile temta. Amul aja church be Amul. Amul powder, Amul butter. Pana model tipo mlaki ona shipana business model tipo mlapna. Pavechiona ishi Gujarat lana kem ishi ninko nagam le hilngopuna Amul powder use like Amul product ko butter ke maya milk ke use like you pa ke ninko na pano ko jukela ite pano ko no kyu pano ko khukela itani atuna aginiuna we know their product, right? We know their product, at least we've heard about it. Ikemi ninko na lucky question ninko le injuma sakyo ye who tukela pano ko no who tukela Wovekula hutkela, Honomla Lakula na Hutpeva Ingesha. Kumo, right? No. Maya Apaza Asabzana Hekimela Kutovetsna, ne, he give me Hijanka Nokona business mali dikishil velopna Hutpeva Ingesha. Yes, is it like that? No, right? It's not like that. In fact, each and every one of them, really argue personal challenges. They face personal challenges. Ipuna, personal challenges came, they did not give up. So let's take, for example, Jack Ma Junne, Jack Ma. Pana itim shipne thojikla paya when he was a kid, school lage he's known to fail so many times like school lage fail she puna ithogyu, right? Ipna pana kichim shipne tare akamla apply shikelage akamla lage pa exception, rejection. He faced so many rejection. Okay, so there is a particular story. Jack Ma ngopao aksaw kuma. Apparently they went for a job interview. Job interview like open restaurant la waiter shin la. Okay, ukela ye pao aksaw ye selection le pao aksaw ek shelve na pa ye rejection ina. Ipna the reason why he was rejected was because they said no ye mkhone ani ajura la mo and like your teen, right? So he's a person who was even rejected based on his looks. Even the college look at them to vegela, adoto vegela, entrance exams pau ye fail she. So finally, pau ashekala pau apoaza akibolo mira angarevepna pavile hetave mokesha like kataum julvelo, kataum kamnam pulvelo, pipavile pikyo. This man, if we look at him, he did not give up. He persisted. And perhaps what we did not know was, maybe he had imagined a future for himself already, right? As we said, imagination is the first step to creation. Maybe he has already imagined a future for himself. And he kept on trying. And finally, China, one of the first internet-based services, Panastarchi. If not today, the world knows him, right? Today, Oprah Winfrey sharep na, we Korean sharep nam, panangko personal stories, kishne thukela, ma kishne hutukela, tipo jo maya mlamo, maya akironokmo, kema pagapalsap na angaremo, azilemo, puna kyu obstacles shol sharep na kyu challenge face sharep nam, they went through that, and because of that, they are there. Okay. So now another thing is ineshi bankem ninko timkiwishi kumsarna nishle. Afona ush bankem ninko ya Nagaland la ni, panko ya US la, ma China la, ma India bokula sharat nam kataw la na ke situation kata ta ke panu ko shin thanoka ebi kumsagol vela ike to ne tari na ajlo kataw pe khaine mchenchilamo lakim michilaga pa pe khir lakim ke michilaga pa akho dola michilamo ya okay so this hipokoye Nagaland dola maya Nagaland khalana kine I wanted to take an example of people who are from around Nagaland ike aturu alashi ajla alashi thulam kem aturu ye je bijay shanti ipna paye Manipur la nake Manipur la ala ki loktak lake apna inge ike til nake ike loktak lake ko nam te floating island la az pachipna apha phoshi ayri apha pholamna az pachike chopna ayri tipo kit la kula tili kuom ye til mochini ike li Loktak Lake lana, she's from Loktak Lake. What she did was, out of the ordinary resources, everyday resources to she created a brand. Business do you want to guess what the Animba is? Do you want to guess what the resources is? Hula la kichu ke to no wania kushane nya okay lotus item ta lotus eke lotus khamlu pa ya lotus khamlu tipo ya ay pano az khale thul jingu na pa tipo wala no ata eki pepna ata tipo na I hope pilipna I hope tipo kapes animra mlaphe na tina pow brand tea starchy tea pow business starchy so if you look at her life from a very small place uploadi lakilana right animra every day extraordinary like you pesishkuk mo kema alo kututu atala pikire pana ki khom khala ki tu jingla tipo person right and you in whichever capacity she started with that nobody knew her ikem covid dollar kishkelam thapuna new Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he came to know about that. Even pa radio la the she rich not address it man ki baat. Item ta man ki baat church in man ki baat he shared her story, Pau's story, and then from there the whole nation knew about her. Okay, somebody picked her story. Ibne Ikea by Manipur la Sharepna by a state ambassador she's a power product pesukuna pana yere pana tipo kapes promote you shiny power product pes promote you like. Now the second one I can you here Lee Lalthmauni she is from Mizoram lana. Ibne in atuho pasa shulke te COVID lana pasa sholo aizwalla. Tipo time tipo like la pa low class ye kala check ni pass we puna te college start check time la ibna pana ye unlike us pana se ona akirpi kucho na she ike mizosa ona akirpi vecho no english tipo kimen sa pink tipo kitla challenge so our communication was also not that great na between us but what she said during the time was pa ye coffee my tea business to kula ki shin shanke pe and after such a long time COVID 2024 later in a poor Aizwal ide work la Lisa Susholo. Ibna Lina Pique, Itepana Pau Ti Cha Tipo, particularly Cha Tipo Mlapake, Japan or South Asian countries called Tsupuan KP, Lina Tipo Sajalo. Ibna de Kushenam, Lina Ala ye, Kari Apo Asuna Pek me with you. Awola laki cha awola laki mla chiki wani ike tipo ye kishan de cha pata le chao pata lupuna panu ko ye ari ho khpuna ari ho ta bekela adukshe shipne ki pekela tipo flavor laki tipo pakta shi per chingena so that flavor right infused with that hay ike tipo khapesno brand mla puna that tea is selling so well in South Asian countries Ikita ina kuwana pa example like ba ya ko ya business starting ke ideal extraordinary laki ma ya resources bona apazan up to put a bets ma ya akukba job irvegi tuna shne pik hangema. These are the people who started with whatever they have. She started with something traditional knowledge like apasla na pese ku tipo kapesna pa business like start chipne thia agle shi shai ku tipo kiche ki la kishla zlani up to ye nisim ye new pastoral ye no temta up to ye ten la kata mi temta nisim kine eternal lamule amui pa eternal la paje Dinavi achumi itna ithe German la pau business start pani pau business je artsy naga itna te art studio kahpe pani ke itna pau art studio kushine nam tilina art studio tipo vechona art ko timshika maya calligraphy handwriting tipo ko shika itimi kichina tukushika la kishani pottery he ayirna kunu phepna aliash ko maya katau art kom la vakyu tipo shika eno handicraft aslan khipepna tipo ko la kishani itna dinavi jukelare pau personal story de mo veni non kono pa phupna pasa se interview shna non ko sa kaptal gong charmal ngela ikema pau story jukelo kila hobbies la kya pan interest la kya ordinary hobbies la kya tipo pesna pau business la kya shanishi la ikeni kona atro juvekyo atro group jo maya akini group jo nama biveketo it's not about having something extraordinary, right? First thing they did was one common thing, like common shape, like Q challenge face na personally my external face na they did not give up. They persisted. Tinato. Akinyuna Q ordinary atala piki rechula Q atala piki resasakha Q tipo interest, my hobby, tipo kapes, they made a choice, right? They made a choice. And the choice was to make a difference. So they have a gift akyu, tipo lapano kona, hakta lupna hakta tipo ye, nia akikili, irongna, eno katem rongna sarinke na tipo akikili tipo, they brought a change through the gift and the choice they had, right? Okay, so and hence my second challenge to all of you is, can we make a choice? With all the gift that you have, experience, upbringing, kirti, oloks, maya nonokyu pujupeju psi, tektole iran piku pihep ne irani, maya okirti aga chupu pes, tilki kumopuna, tipo kapes, can we make a choice to make a difference through that? So that is my second challenge. So the first challenge is there something you can create using all the gifts and talents that you have? Okay. And the second challenge is, can we make a choice to make a difference for ourselves and for others? Through entrepreneurship, can we make a choice? So that is the challenge I'm setting to all of you, okay? Now the question is, I don't know how many of you are feeling challenged. If some of you are feeling challenged and if you're interested, how do kishno entrepreneur laki shinjinga na maya kishno entrepreneur laki shinge kugola na shinga epi akakumse tipo interest are maya tishi kumsara baye. Let's look at it, okay? Ike kataw kumlatoy my doctor ko, my engineer, my what you call this NPSC, UPSC, tipo ko toy hipopiveno entrepreneurship shivineni my hipopiveno lidikishito veneni piu tie kaha akipia tite kum restriction ka. Ilki example lana ina azalaki Manipur la example singpie Azatipoye ampe new program laki entrepreneurship to team ko support ki entrepreneurship program laki run chai start chai kila ye azatipoye ampe lots in khala shagni. She's 60-70 years old. Ibna she joined the program. Okay, she did not have any education also. kakupi hepe bangmo. Ikema, she was earning in crores, how revenue your crores on earn share, right? So there's no bar to entrepreneurship. On the other hand, I remember one girl again. She's a financial analyst, and she worked in Singapore. Singapore lopnamla, London lopnamla. She had that kind of exposure, and finally came back to her own place and started entrepreneurship, right? On the other hand, there are also people in a many examples like low class checking passipuna business start check you, and all of them are doing well. So there is no particular studies hipopeng na shileni maya akiti yakal hito lagama side ko tie khai ke. More than educational qualification, entrepreneurship who think you entrepreneurship starting to yeah, there's two things I will emphasize. Ishi inahe will emphasize on two things. The first one is mindset, attitude na, new attitude. Okay, attitude hami pirma sai ke te kiu tu ko la tipola emphasize ni, and I can you yeah, there's certain skill sets that we need to develop. Okay, eke skill situ ko kiu tu ko pirelum na alonen ke la tipok sa ni ke. Ike step atu ya mindset ni ka kamse lai. Ike entrepreneurial mindset it na chini. Ike entrepreneurial mindset it ko dolare akchopulak mo puna particularly lucky focusing ko itishi na he. Ike ni ka kamse vecho ni giz lokyo anikela mayenin ko no kyusho langela. We can decide whether it's an opportunity or a problem, right? It depends on us, whether it's a problem or an opportunity. Ninguna ite problem kiye sholangela. Ninguna kuchola kumsujaba nigis la problem kiye sholangcha ni khala problem kiye sholangela. Akleshi joba ya. All these are opportunities that can be converted into entrepreneurship, right? Kok moya. Kyukim no problem that ki face maya problem that ki face ki vecho tim lakina tili Ongna no kupupuna maya ongna tipomla vetsa you are even paying for that, right? Is it not? Kok moiti la ite kage ni ko ya alam upna ite, I mean, let's look at the trend, okay? Kage alam upna kainla kala chupu akcho restaurant ko non ukep shapa nil na ashri pep no masin na she kok mo ite winter ke tire problem. The problem it becomes especially summertime, that becomes a problem, right? In Dimapur, it becomes so hot, you don't want to step out, right? Now what we do, problem, solutions, opportunities. Now you pull out your phone Swiggy, Zomato, order that's a solution, right? So like that, we keep on complaining that there are so many problems, right? Job opportunity, corruption, industry. If we look at each of these problems, all of it can become an opportunity. We need to start looking at all these issues and problems as an opportunity. Resources here, resources here, we have so much of talents and so much of potential within us. So it's already in us. So our mindset has to change, right? That's the first thing. Again, you share there is no substitute for hard work, right? Ningona kish vision and hard work na khotokcho jukchonets tipo periki na khotokcho kem ningona kishi jukchonets gi je shipna are pina kiu la jukhupna are pina mo tipa wala akumla kotha smat sakcho. There's no substitute for that. No thotana kiu hutupuna tipola hazar my khetone employee shi my ogongnam latsingi me are nam no nei thamokelaye Oli dikshe thank you kumo. No nei thamokelaya okumlai thank you kumo. No nei thamokelaya kium tipola shipelink you kumo. So hard work is not a substitute, okay? You cannot substitute hard work. And one of the things that we find with all the entrepreneurs, it will make you my entrepreneurs kukum no kum sujo. Elon Musk lana my no kum like you aluki. I'm not segregating between a good entrepreneur and a bad entrepreneur. It can success like you entrepreneurs. Successful shaki they all work hard, right? All work hard. And on top of that, lucky community like itare vision. Panong ko kono mo puna itare panong ko nung ala itare team wrong na problem ki shi solve shivengela tipo vision pira kyo shi itulani. So ena hipo akimji are ki shike te rona akoto kuchola kono team lakina akimji pere twengela new kakukipila sharap na ni kumla kitala sharap na ma team na juvelo shovelo itwelo mayam lavelo ba kem khanishle bata to akimji na sasuwe chimke ke entrepreneurship, especially entrepreneurship take up shinkyu lidikishi laki hutingyu na tipo continue shinkyu it's a roller coaster kanla it's very rewarding of course wana aglikepu ikem at the same time kanla oilkyu actually no oilkina sasuma sakepu dori perneni ipna nona o jukchone se tipo hola tare o pokaputsakyu tipo kha paye and tare oilkino self motivation kepu kha paye it becomes very tiresome. Akini atuguna mindset nimlo ni kapse para kilip na tipo hutulkyu tina first step to entrepreneurship lai. Ipna second na the second thing is hard work. Nilkini putata au apku sena kyu aktupu pakapsa masakyu ni nam lai tamasakyu and tipo la jukcho ne tsipiri ram lai kyu tina koto. Aktu and I think compare skilla hina up to the ECS up to the mlakyu and the TS skill sets lai veju na sha ina tho business hutinge mali dikishi hutinge bankema ninko skills hamia agmasa ipna skills tipo juke lakila ajiliking kutla na skills tipo divide shimini ike atugo skill set atugo apoli tete trade based particular trade based skills apane ike te ko namti chalzam no tho ashom lai thui shani baking starting shani la maya no thogo motor mechanics gariko business starting shani kala the core skills that you need say for example baking plus masanini baking skills ithamasinni maya gari jeli parts ko kishi maya gari ku tu kala tipo core skills ithakyu tipo avyoku shani that is I think that constitute only 30-40% of the skills that you need right that is the easiest skills that you can get. But more than that, ampa akini na aktu. Do you know na akoto? Ike ampa akini te konam soft skills, right? Soft skills te kuto ikoti. He communication, kishi team patas changela, kishi galakshi shipna partnership, maya network shingela. Gong businesses lidikishi olkino na shimna na shin. You need to collaborate. You need to have partnership. You need to be able to communicate with the other person and convince your idea. Ike communication skills, maya partnerships, networking, and tipo hola itare problem solving. Kishno problem pervegela. Ishi problem face cycle. Kishno solve shivingela. Like afona example like it's in a furniture business chekela. Furniture business ishi chekela. Sofa pani maya alpa pani maya corporate big clients irani irupuna tipoko capture shanya bankema tipoko na akjo po allow gajal laki hili yesi chekuk ta akho yesi chekuk ta kela hili yesi chekuk khave pa ya akamlak jo po bonchwepna akamlak jo po lakhapengo vanishi ike that simple thing it starts with the small things like how to solve this problem ike Titoe business run shaikla gijelana clotilana actual problem iranini ipna problem irneni na iperneni. So how do we solve that problem? So those things are the soft skills that we're talking about, right? If not yet, of course you can learn. Katamila nashkalni nikem actual na allow yet olki you have to come out of your comfort zone. Iten on a comfort zone like you till na iperevepna. You have to push yourself out there. You have to come out of your comfort zone and gain all the experiences. In a ishijo akela actuna, maybe ampe muku range la arikepo to ani pakhala. This time, this 20 years of age, ononko ampe muku 20 years na ampe muku and the early 30s. This is the best time to invest in yourself. So learn as much as possible. Nonko na college la aga paya vejo pikil kishke ikema internship, take up internship. That is where you learn real experiences. no kono school la ra pa ya vejo textbook ki pipna ti package ke ikema from there maybe chapter la ki khilpuna no teacher approach puna no etli live projection shani maya hipo kapeso ki shi real world la new community mai ni kila hipo implement chinge hipo start chiju change ki shishne kila ni guide chlo so start like that at the end of the day all that experiences success set or fail set that doesn't matter but all the experiences that you gain when we are in your 20s when you're early 30s that is an investment and that builds up the soft skills kataw trade base ko ite kutonam shkalne ni ashekanam shkalne ikem hipo soft skills ba kyu maya hipo experience and again future ke te all kinono chusu bus you have to get your hands dirty you have to get your legs dirty and learn it yourself push yourself to get out of that comfort zone right akin you up to specific business related skills business la pay thank you skills say for example marketing my accounting my sales financial literacy hipo ko hard skills pa nge cho ikitite ka avhe ko ibne ite ninko mobile tikheli information age la wange right so it is not difficult to get that ninko na shinsha pa ye themi lopna youtube la na tutorials suji jange shkalvinen tonoka my information huji jange khuna ni la khangena ulvenen tonoka so it's about how we use our time right ipna ishili piveke akpi akhe hipo piveng shilene ku khake ikema the closest probably the closest degree or the closest qualification that may help theoretically practically at no second theoretically help shilinke for example maybe MBA like business management ditekyo studies tipoko ekupulene tipoko pikela under MBA you learn about all these concepts and all so it can help you but at the end of the day pivekete akakum sisharat na my new vision hard work my skill set tipoko entrepreneurship whatever is required in entrepreneurship hipoko kucho pusharet of all these experiences the best teacher Abdullah give you life experience nilkinga pujupejulkiu right ipna tipo yekish me chenja pa nina alai tinshkiu maye nilkinina pokto hektelkiu vecho itipalchini so in conclusion entrepreneurship if you want to start entrepreneurship lidikishi hutinshi maye entrepreneurship take up shinsha pa more than career kataw yeke te career hipo akum long na ke kyu tipo shilini kem entrepreneurship it's more of a lifestyle hi atala piki re nina pujupeju re shikalu re unkyu ke entrepreneurship it's more of a lifestyle ke kuchopung na allow akkamse pekli pagne ni ipna tipo gola nina pakapcha kyu and a new experience ni sasuning ke so that is all about entrepreneurship okay ipna ite ina shire sajen shaki hili loga ki dola if there's any one of you kyuma new entrepreneurship try shani maya ni lidikishi hipo idea hipo ni lidikishi hipo start hut pa ni ipna ita hipo la support avi ku shanke maya ni shijun pikem hutun shani ipna ni hipo desire ani wish ani I have this desire and wish in me epikeme aga pa I want to extend this invitation to all of you, okay? I want to extend this invitation to you. Okay, this invitation is called the Gen Next Fellowship, ECS na Gen Next Fellowship introduced sange kashna. Generation Next Fellowship na here lotini Nagaland la lotin ko na. Ningo ye cohort 1 ye kutom kishinya mo mku ngoi kina sit mku ngoi kina kishena ni ikema we're inviting kukunam entrepreneurship try shani maya hutun shanke aga paye he apply shilling tipo we are inviting you okay if as I said this is not extended to everyone you came here through pastors we are extending this invitation only to selected church and then in no pastor lovile sasakapsa ke Pastor Lovi, for example, Pastor Lovi, we're asking her to nominate if there's any one of you who are interested. Ike kukyum nongo dola ni entrepreneurship try shi shanke da ari kemi ye pastor lo vile pipna no nominate chipe la sasakap na no nominate chipe oje suggest chipe ipna no tipogola you can apply for this. Okay, so this is called the Gen Next Fellowship. Last date here March tache ike no kona azkini me ari maye bakapsan kemi ari maye shijush kemi ara paye no pastors sasakap na bektis benke no ko invite chilani. Few things. Three phase nani phase one. Okay, fellowship people who kya paya three phase. It's going to be in three phase. The first phase is going to be personal development. La atoshe none ilokela who you are, your potential. We are going to concentrate on your potential, help you to discover your purposes, support you in that. Second, yeah, different way of skilling. Say farming lana, poultry lana, piggery lana. The basic things that you need to sustain. Plus trade-based issues related all interest kiklana no QQ business who shikyu aga paye tipo kiklana tipo skilling certification shikna. We are going to concentrate on that not through this fellowship. And ashekau share entrepreneurship support kishpna hipopesa idea IQ pesa kishpna business who tulingela tipo support chikyu zneni hipoya asholana timirneni maya within Nagaland within Northeast Sharap nama real entrepreneurs ko tobali dikisha ke ko sarapuna panangko practical experience panangko no pujupeja ke tipo kapesnongko guidance sapuna entrepreneur ononko tipo enterprise business tipo kish establishment no run chilingela kish establishment no tipo hutulingela tipo supports nen right ikema the only thing is this fellowship is going to be for fellowship pe ampech ahichek in rona in the first 6 months first 6 months itete residential kete nongko twangsang phila aini ketli perpna ngomasinen la epna last 6 months na patata ala idewo puna nongko na khilna business start shin la tiling opuna you can take this support lotem ke azna sakiwina agi kitla pevini here in a residential kina campus ne hostel dormitory style and conferences at the farming area, futsal, my driving class, tipo aktupo itu amakemti aku itu ki pinongkole peveni. Nakuno join shuneng ya payati kyukim ampechel tachengo share dola kyu like 18 to 13 years ite active employment lakha my formal education lango mokno ite nongkona tipo holatare nongkona pikle heklep na mare maya akamla actively engage mokna ke the QQ free time arapna hipol huting ke pe akakun saga pa tipo ko hongna 60% seat reservation for women to tim ko 60% reservation pa tani and fee 70,000 ke kuchola ye kataus mokna ki tak option ke ikem 30,000 ete ECS na contribute chani na 40,000 again 40,000 lage seating ku dola apply ship na top 15 actually dola I give you pana chelpung kong na ye full scholarship okay you don't have to pay right if you get selected if you come within that top 15 then this becomes a full full sponsored okay so this is an invitation no pastor no kona hipola one interest are my shinshku aga paya no pastor sasakapsatsupi na no pastor vechona ipala ilia pititsbeke ipo invite chilani and with that I think we'll close with a question answer na need pong khalarne QQ fellowship pong na may ya I think you need mic. Okay, very good question. At the point, no, I think that's a very good question. Entrepreneurship is one thing that we have to gain. Personally gain how to network. How to network. In our weekly share, you will temporarily share Nagaland epic right? So that is the power of networking. Schemes ko itini maya opportunities government schemes maya platforms ko I think one of the best ways no business okay, so I'll take it step by step. So the first thing is business registration MSME la registration udyog registration basic registration by default you also get invited. Now people reach out to you and then you can also get invited through MSME my skill sector from time to time they conduct trainings and all and you get invitation for that. That is one way. Other than that, I think what you can also deliberately do is get yourself involved in platforms. Okay, for example, business platform, particularly business business platform, business platform. One of the business platform that you have is Business Association of Nagaland and La. Panangko event personally check up on that. If not attention Women Entrepreneurship Network Nagaland, for example, no tutim korongna akapokona shachini skillings lana my training lana my when bazar so those places don't just look at it as bazar use those platforms upuna kishpuna team in my business interest how do I build that relationship so be in touch with, say, for example, Ting na allow even government department Department of Entrepreneurship, Employment, Skill and Entrepreneurship. So they also keep on conducting even within themselves. Nagaland la startup IQ department, for example, startup Nagaland under industry and commerce ani panungko event where it's not just about skilling schemes but also information sharing, networking. You can watch out for such departments, or even, for example, Investment Development Authority of Nagaland, IDEN. So government and apart from that, even private institutions, banking, SBI SBI NABARD. So these are the active regional level, national level agencies that are operating. So what you can do is purposely check up on these opportunities. Okay, so that is one. Second thing, Kishmana backup, how to, so if I'm not mistaken, your second question is how to ensure that you build a stable business, right? That is what you're asking, nah? Yeah, I think you've correctly addressed it yourself. There is no guarantee on whether we'll succeed or fail, right? Because business here, a lot of it also depends on external things also. External situation it's about competition, it's about political situation. For example, Manipur situation. Manipur, businesses flourish, entrepreneurship. Due to that conflict, 2023 conflict, so those external situations too, we cannot mitigate. Internally, what we can do is new business. I think one of the first thing is having a proper systems and knowledge in place. For example, business register like government taxes compliance processes strengthen so that your compliance, your processes, your registration complete. The first step is like that. Ite ni ko ke business run chen chen for example food processing run chen pen ke pickle yam lavani maya cake kom lani kem we do not have the proper process na FSSAI certificate ka like that quality certificate tipoko ka registration ka titu kush kela thotha na kyum rules regulation ka pa yete new business effective ne shi maya tipola thotha na legal process tipoko entitled chmok na sam tingna chupsu shops it's a harmony reputation, right? So I think the first step is taking care of that compliance, that registration to I hope. The second step is being financial healthy. Financial literacy on akoto kucho kishna new pusa managini kishna new hekime laga managing la ibna here business kik mo kem little lage on a vu kucho kije peran kije ilorani kije pani you kijena kula spenchi mani ninko ke business actually especially in example lunge to team kola no nini to team kone and this is not bias okay this is based on data ninko to team kona kon hutukela akumla lidi kishi hutukela ninko ona full of passion right we want to change we want to do this we want to do that I mean comes mostly from emotional place even what we forget is we forget to keep an account kije bank kije langela team खचमला हिसाब किताब चिके हु के बितना टिमनम चिके बितना सके टिमनेश के बितना सके कुछ पोक तो मिलो में चाहिए इकेम if you are running a business make sure that all account tipo खिजे लानी खिजे पैनी कुछ एको and a backup plan yeah data plan कताल की कुमकेम financial backup plan as much as possible किशना Tell I'm big. I can cut business in long Gebushara by a Kishmania sustain So I think these are the fundamental things. Basic things to start with are these two. So I hope this answers your question. Tavin ke hina shikashini ke alhopelo hono no koshkinti ena alhopelo no lage yepets ena no kutsbenge ren betsani shikimti